Hi everybody. Today I'm going to do the first video in a series of lessons on good vocal technique. Today we're going to start, of course, with the essential of breath because you can't sing without it. Before I even go there though, I want to just sort of lay down some ground rules. If you're really serious about your singing, then you really need to look after your voice as an instrument. And as it's part of your body, that means looking out for the things that you eat and you drink, the environments in which you place yourself in. If you're a smoker, firstly you might want to think about the times that you smoke. For instance, if you're wanting to perform and you don't feel like you're ready to give up cigarettes. I know because I've been there. I smoked for about 15 years or something before I finally decided to give it the flick. But if you're at that point where you feel like you're not ready to give up things like cigarettes or alcohol or chocolate, and these are things that you don't have to give up entirely, perhaps the cigarettes, but alcohol and chocolate and Coca-Cola, fizzy drinks, things with a lot of sugar on it that can place a lot of sort of glucose in on the throat are things that you probably want to keep at a minimum when you are preparing to sing. The other thing that's really essential is something that I haven't been getting enough of myself. I've just had my 5th baby and I'm very out of shape and a little unfit. However, because I've been singing for so many years, I've been able to maintain some sort of good breathing technique. But in order to make your breath easier, you really need to be even just a little bit fit. Even if you go for a half-hour walk every day, it exercises the muscles around the rib cage, around the lungs, and it just gets the blood flowing through that area and just makes it a whole lot easier to open up the chest cavity when you are breathing. Okay, so let's get straight into it. I'll give you any other tips that I come up with as we go along. Firstly, let's talk about areas of breathing. The first area you probably want to focus on is the diaphragm area. Now, a lot of people, when they sing, they'll breathe high into their chest. So just watch what happens when I breathe high into my chest. And high, I mean up around this area, okay? The space between my chin and my chest is smallened. I can't think of the word right now. What that does is actually restrict your movement, for one, and it also restricts the relaxed state of the muscles around that area. So it just makes it very difficult to produce a natural tone because you're kind of all stuck like this. So first and foremost, you must try to breathe low. So let's focus much lower than the chest area and we'll go right down to the diaphragm there. One thing that I tell all of my students is try and be a little like me at the moment and have a bit of a gut on you when you breathe in. So instead of breathing like this, you want to breathe so that the front of your stomach, the front of your diaphragm area, comes out, it protrudes. Okay, so I'm going to turn side on, not a very pretty sight, but it's good for demonstration. Alright, so I'm going to breathe in. See how that came out at the front? And I'll do it again. And breathing in. And it comes out at the front there. So that's what you're wanting to achieve, is that expansion out the front of your body. So basically, just take 3 breaths now. We're going to do everything in the 3 breath format, just so you get an idea. Okay, so place your hands and press firmly on your diaphragm, but not so that you're going to restrict your ability to breathe in. All you want to do is have something to connect with there. So place your hands on your diaphragm and breathe in. And push your hands out. So when you breathe in, your tummy comes out. When you exhale, when you breathe out, your tummy goes back in. So I'm going to exhale with what I had left. And breathe in again. And exhale. And breathe in one more time. And exhale. Okay, so basically that's the first area you need to be focusing on. Just guide yourself slowly through this process. You know, most of us, because of the stresses, when we're born actually, we naturally, if you watch a baby breathing, you'll see the baby breathing from its diaphragm. That's our natural state of breathing. However, with the stresses of life and perhaps being unfit or, me, I am quite a nervous person. I'm a bit of a shy person as well, and so when I'm around other people, especially new people, I tend to breathe really high. Those are habits that we get into. It's not the natural way of breathing. So it's going to take possibly some time for you to relearn how to do that breath. If it comes naturally to you, you're a step ahead of most of us. So for those of you who are not used to it, take your time and don't get frustrated. This should be joy. This should be enjoyable. Okay, the next area of focus should be your rib cage. A lot of us, when we think breath, we think lungs, we think chest, we think diaphragm, but we don't really think ribs. And ribs are heavy bones, and there's a lot of muscle mass surrounding that area, and the muscles between the ribs themselves can be quite stiff. So it's good to have a bit of a stretch, and also, as I said before, to get some exercise to loosen that area up. All right, so basically I want you to place the back of your hands on your rib cage, and when you breathe in, I want you to push out to the side with your ribs. Okay, so we're going to breathe in and push out and breathe out, and ribs collapse, and breathe in, push the ribs out, and breathe out, and ribs collapse. And one more, breathe in, push the ribs out, and breathe out, ribs collapse. Okay, so another area that we rarely focus on, and that is rarely focused on unless you really get a good teacher that's going to go through the absolute all and everything of how to get that extra milligram of air into your body. Especially if you're singing opera or classical music, you need enormous breath capacity. So the next area is, I'm going to turn my back on you for a moment. Hopefully you can still hear me very clearly. The rib cage extends around the back of your body too. So if you're only focusing on the side of your body, you're only focusing on, perhaps 2/3 of the expansion of the ribs. They go around to the back, they join up to your spine. I think they do. Anyway, what we want to do is place your hands as best you can on the back of your rib cage. And when you breathe in, try once again to push your hands out. So breathing in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so they're basically the three main areas of breath. We can expand on that. Yes, there is more at a later date, but for now I just want you to work on those three areas. What we really need to do is get each of those three areas going comfortably. And once you've done that, I want you to try and put them all together. So you're going to try and expand the diaphragm, expand the side of the rib, and expand the back of the rib cage as well. So, you've only got two hands, so you can only focus on two areas at a time, but mentally, if you can stretch yourself to the third, visualize. Singing is all about visualization, by the way. You can't see your instrument like a pianist can or like a guitarist can. Your instrument's inside your body, so you need to visualize what's going on inside. So I want you to visualize your lungs filling up three-dimensionally. Okay, so this whole area around your midsection is going to expand like you're blowing up a tire. Okay, so place one hand on whatever side is comfortable for you, the other hand goes on the diaphragm, and I want you to breathe into that whole area and try to expand that. Okay, so we're just going to do three of those right now. And breathe in, and breathe out, and breathe in, and breathe out, and breathe in, and breathe out. Okay, two things I want you to remember at this point, and then after you've mastered this section, I want you to go on to lesson 2. Okay, the first thing is, when you've got one hand on one side of your body, don't forget about the other side. I often see my students going like this, and they think, grouse, I've got it going. But they haven't really, because the other side is like going like this. So make sure that you visualize and have that whole area expanding. The other point I'd like to make is it's not important at this time how you take the breath in, but it's a great habit to get into breathing through your mouth. Breathing through the nose you'll notice you have to drag, you have to pull the air a lot more into your body, which takes a lot more energy and it takes more time. And when you don't have either of those things to spare, when you're actually in the middle of a song, you want to get the breath in as quickly as possible. And the easiest way to do that, allowing the breath to drop in, is through the biggest hole you've got, which is your mouth. Okay, thank you. I hope you get it right. Please feel free to submit any questions that you've got, via the channel, and I will do my utmost to either follow it up in a video or get back to you personally. Okay, good luck.